during my first year as an RA, they would take these loaves of bread and they would put slices of bread on people's doorknobs.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't figure out who it was, but they would just like put these pieces of bread on people's door handles. And we were telling people, hey, maybe don't put foodstuffs on people's door handles.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if they're watching.
They might be.
Howdy, this is On Air with Student Affairs. I'm your host, Elizabeth Drake, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about residence life here on Texas A&M's campus. So with us, we have some of our residence advisors, and they're going to be sharing a little bit about their experiences. So I'd love to get started by hearing a little bit more about you guys, if you want to share your name and why you decided to become a residence advisor.
Yes, I guess I'll start first. My name is Mary Claire Hughes. I am a resident advisor over at Lechner Hall, and I wanted to be a resident advisor because I really wanted to make more of an impact on my dorm. I was originally in community council, which is basically our dorm's version of a student council, and I helped out with events and planning them and really just making a community of the dorm, and I wanted to have more of that impact moving forward.
My name is Kacy Gerpers, and I decided to become a resident advisor because I was also on community council, and I really enjoyed like the programming aspect of that and interacting with residents. So I decided to become an RA.
Howdy, my name's Adoriam. I'm a senior resident advisor at Underwood, and I chose to be a RA because I wanted to build community. I first befriended some of my RAs in my freshman dorm in Epbright, and I saw that the job looked very fun and cool. You're getting paid to make friends, and that's what I like. So I just really love building community, meeting new people.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we know a little bit more about why you guys are RAs, can you tell us why you came to A&M in the first place?
Yes, I came to A&M because I wanted to pursue bioenvironmental sciences. I really love agriculture, and that's something I've been doing for many years before I even came to college. I do workshops with people, so A&M was the perfect spot for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I'm a first-gen college student, I've just always been drawn to Texas A&M. Don't know why, but I'm happy I'm here, so that's why I decided to come here.
Yes, I wanted to come to Texas A&M because I wanted to go to somewhere with a really good business school. I'm a marketing major, so when I came here and I toured here, they really showed how great of the business school it was and also just how great the community and the Aggie spirit was. So I was like, I really need to be here and be with all of these amazing Aggies, so I applied and got in.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long have you guys been RAs?
This is my second year as an RA.
Wow.
This is my second year.
Okay.
This is my upcoming third year.
Awesome. What halls were you guys all in?
Oh, I was originally in Lechner Hall. I'm still in Lechner Hall. I would be in Lechner McFadden because it's a dorm complex for all 4 years, actually.
Okay. Awesome.
I was originally in Schumacher Hall, and then this year I'm being transferred to Walton Hall.
Awesome.
I was originally in Moses my first year, and then I changed to Underwood my second year, and I'll be in Underwood still.
Oh my gosh. I was in Underwood my freshman year.
Yay!
I absolutely loved it. Some of my best memories from Texas A&M were in the dorm my freshman year. So going back to being a freshman and kind of arriving on campus for the first time, can you guys recall what it was like when you first moved into the dorm?
When I first moved in, I was very anxious. It was just so new to me because I was in an environment where there was thousands of people at once, and I've just never experienced that before. But upon meeting my roommate, we became besties. We're besties to this day. We were able to go do a lot of the Howdy events. We were able to participate in a lot of the community builders we had on campus and in our dorm, and it just started to feel like home sooner and sooner.
Yeah, it's a great way to meet people right from the get-go.
I feel the exact same way that I was anxious about it because it was something that I had no idea what it was going to look like. But then after I got my key and I opened my door for the first time, that was so much fun. And that's when it kicked in for me. This is my home for the year. And so after that, it got fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely adding on to what they said, you have that first set of freshman year jitters of oh, what's it going to be like? This is a whole new experience. I'm away from home. And it's like, I have this room number, but where is it? So then once you get that key, and I went up to the 3rd floor at the time, it just really started to feel like home once I settled in. And I was able to take part in those Howdy Week events. It was a lot of fun, and I was able to make a lot of friends that way.
Yeah. So obviously you all have had great experiences from living on campus. But it definitely is a little nervous when you first come in as a freshman or just in general the first time living on campus. What's some advice you would give to someone coming in?
What some advice I greatly recommend is to never isolate yourself. Even if you live on campus or off campus, those first few weeks of school are so important for you to meet new people, network, and try to find the community that best suits you. Whether that's in your dorm, in an org, in your class, just making sure to put yourself out there and push boundaries is most important.
I agree with everything Adoriam said. And then I feel like on top of that, keep in mind that everybody else probably feels the exact same way you do. And so it's okay to put yourself out there and tell other people, I'm really nervous to be here, or I'm feeling homesick, or this, that, and the other, because they're probably feeling the same way. And so they'll want to be there for you. So yeah.
Yes, I agree with everything they said. They were spot on basically everything. I'm also add on to that saying there's always going to be some sort of event happening. Even if it's not in your dorm, just be on the lookout for any flyers or any groups that are being like, hey, we have a club going on, we have this or that happening, especially during Howdy Week. There is so many things happening during Howdy Week, whether it's in your dorm or whether it's something run by the university. There's going to be multiple different ways to meet people, especially in those first few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you guys touched on some different things like being homesick, also finding roommates. What's some advice on that end of when you're preparing to move on campus? What does that look like, and what can you do to be proactive?
Oh, being proactive about moving in, I would say be prepared for the heat during move-in. It's going to be really hot. It is Texas. It's going to be like most likely over 100 degrees. Bring water, bring sunscreen. Most dorms also will not have an elevator. So bring a wagon or bring some sort of bag to store your belongings in, just so that way it's easier on yourself or your family or whoever's helping you move in. So that way you could trek up those stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's okay to take your time. Not everything has to be in your room within the first 30 minutes of you getting there. So don't tire yourself out because it's very hot outside. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think the shell shock for my family was realizing there were no elevators. There's only some like the core dorms or hullabaloo. And we were looking for the elevators. We're like, where are they? You don't have elevators in this dorm. But I recommend going early in the morning. That's what really helped us. It was way cooler, less crowd, or just like later in the evening, not during the busy hours. That just helps with a lot of crowd control and things like that. And just learning, like, it's okay to not unpack all your stuff at once because you can easily get burnt out, like, mentally and physically with all the moving. So just taking your time.
Yeah. So once you are all the way moved in, what are some ways to meet your people in your hall or your community and make friends, get to know your roommate better?
Oh, so the first thing that I did when I got to my dorm was I did a hangman on my poster board. And we did that all week to the point where I was starting to write the weekly hangman on the board. And someone saw me and they're like, oh, you're the one who did the hangman. I see you. And we started a conversation from there. So it could really just be the smallest of things. Tic-tac-toe, hangman on your whiteboard, things like that.
No, I did that too, where you put the little games on the wipe-off board outside your door.
I would say, as weird as it sounds, kind of invade other people's personal spaces. And what I mean by that is like leave your door open, and if you see someone walk by, stop them and say hi. Ask them their name, what their major is. I remember my freshman year, this girl made brownies and she went around to everyone on our floor and just gave us all brownies. So little things like that can be really important and good to do.
Yeah, just say howdy.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, I honestly wish I thought of y'all's ideas freshman year. Those are great. I was going to say, put yourself out there. A lot of people I know, and I did this as well, their first few weeks, they would always hang out in the lounge space and hang out there throughout the year. And sooner or later, you become a face that everyone recognizes. And it's like, oh, yeah, where is so-and-so? And it's like, oh, did you not check the lounge already? because it's like everyone is going there and they're making friends. All your dorms are going to have like board games or some sort of way to like make connections and have fun. So just always check those out.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So there's events that you guys have within the dorms for people to get to know each other?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we have community builders. In my dorm, we have at least 4 community builders every single month where we either have pizza parties. I did a Just Dance competition, best costume party for Halloween, just many events to really bring people together and see common interests.
Yeah.
I did very similar stuff to that as well. I'd like bake cookies. I would invite people to go to dinner with me, like at Sabisa, or just hang out, play games, things like that. Just ways that we can get to know each other.
Yeah.
I guess my favorite one that I've done was the Lemonade Mouth movie night, because who doesn't love Lemonade Mouth? And it was like free lemonade with the movie, and everybody loved that one. And it was just like awesome seeing residents. Honestly, the movie wasn't even being watched. It was just residents talking to each other and enjoying lemonade. And so that was really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we've talked about a lot of the fun and exciting things that go along with moving in on campus, but what advice would you have for someone navigating homesickness? Maybe it's their first time away from home or their first time moving out.
If you're navigating homesickness, going home won't help. You can't go home every single week and expect to feel better. You have to push through that hard time and really try and find a community on campus that can help you feel home where you really need it.
I would also say for navigating homesickness, try and make sure you have stuff in your room that reminds you of home. So you have you feel like you have that little piece of home with you in your dorm. And then kind of on the flip side of what Adoriam said, try not to go home every single weekend. But of course, if you need to, then you should absolutely do that and come up with, I guess, a healthy schedule for going home.
Yes. Definitely putting yourself out there, going to events. You could always call home, but like they were saying, it's not a good idea to like go home physically every week. I know for me, that's not even feasible most of the time. So mainly putting yourself out there and having a good network of people around you that you could just call up and be like, hey, y'all want to come hang out? We can go to lunch or just hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a real big culture of embracing the Aggie family within on-campus living at Texas A&M. It seems like a lot of people really embrace the whole Aggie family spirit that we have and watching out for one another and wanting to hang out, whether it's a movie night or crafts or things like that, which I think is really great. So a little RA myth-busting question I have for you guys is, what are the RAs here for?
Ooh.
We are here for y'all. Really, we are here as a resource for y'all. We're here to build community, but we're also here to connect y'all to resources that y'all might need. We're here if you need to knock on our door and be like, hey, you've been here a while. I need this, that, and the third. Do you know where I can find it? And it's like, oh, hey, wouldn't you know what I do? You can find it over here. Basically, if you are having any questions about residence life, any questions about really the university, I say that my door is free to knock on. Yeah, really, we're just here for y'all.
Yeah.
I feel like RAs have many different hats that we wear. I feel like we're here to create a safe and welcoming community for all of our residents, act as a resource and a guide for all of our residents, sometimes be a shoulder to lean on. Yeah.
These two said it perfectly. Yeah, we're here for some of the easy times and the hard times. You know, some students do get homesick and they just need someone to go have dinner with them, or we have like events to build community, meet your new friends, meet like people who will really help you in the future. So we're just those type of people to bring resources to you.
Yeah, so you guys are so involved within the on-campus community here at A&M. Can you share a personal experience or story from living on campus about where you saw your community really come together, or about a special event you hosted that is maybe a fun experience that people watching have to look forward to?
There are so many to choose from, honestly. It's always hard to pick one because it's like, do I talk about helping out community council? Do I talk about one of my community builders? I'll talk about an all hall that we did. The all halls are essentially all the RAs coming together, and we help host large events. And at my dorm, we typically host trivia nights. We did one during Howdy Week, and it was a lot of fun seeing everybody come together. And they all met for the first time, but it was packed because everybody in Lechner was very excited to do a trivia night and just all show off their academic prowess, so to speak. It was a lot of fun, and it was a big turnout. Everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I feel like my favorite one was whenever we worked with the wellness ambassadors and we did like a make your own essential oil rollers program. And it was so fun and cute watching all of our residents like mix scents and like have each other smell them and be like, oh, does this smell good? Like, what do you think of this one? That one's probably been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was when we had a Roblox competition. We had all the residents. We all came to my room, and I got some pizza for us, and we were literally all just demolishing how to dress to impress in Roblox. We're doing dress to impress, flee the facility. We're just playing like all the common Roblox games while just duking it out. And then the winner gets like 2 slices of pizza or something, or like just a handshake. It was just like small things like that. And it really did boost the college experience, I feel, and for me and for my residents, because it's different when you get to meet people, live with them, and then truly experience happy moments like that in college. It's really fun.
Yeah. No. So clearly from y'all, I know you have so many stories from the events you've hosted. And I know me personally, when I lived on campus, I'm still friends with my roommate and my neighbors to this day, 5 years later, which is so awesome. But besides attending these fun events and saying hi to your neighbor, what are other ways that students can get involved and help them feel more connected with their floor from the get-go?
I would say community council. I've repped it a ton already, but it really is a good way to create that community in your hall, because what that is you're really programming those events yourself. If you want to dip your toes into programming and you want to be that person who's like, hey, I have this great idea and I think everyone will enjoy it, look out for those advertisements for community council, and that will really help the people on your floor, because you're being the person who's reaching out to everybody, being like, hey, you want to go to events, you want to create community and make friends, this is an event that you can go to.
Yeah, and for those who are watching who may not know, what is community council?
Like I said before, it is a dorm student council. Essentially, there's a bunch of different roles. There's president, there's the chair of programming, chair of marketing, a bunch of different roles that you can do. If you're not sure of what might be the best fit for you, there's going to be an event usually at the start of the year around August, September that will basically tell you what all the roles are and will tell you, hey, if this is something that's interesting to you, make sure to sign up and check it out. And there's usually an RA or a GHD or community manager who will be able to tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
I would say invite people to go do things, whether it be go to the dining hall or go check out the game room, whatever it is, just go and see how it goes. And if y'all become friends, then that's great. And that's another connection you have. But if y'all don't click, then that's okay. But at least you know, and like you went out and experienced something new while doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I build community in the most unconventional spaces, and I think that's what makes it truly important. In my dorm, we have a volleyball intramural team, and I say we dominate. But we have a girls volleyball team. We play every Thursday and Sunday. We practice, and it's just a great way to build community. But also, like Kacy said, just inviting people to many different events that you have. I remember I knocked on my neighbor's door because we had one conversation like the day before, and asked them if they wanted to go. I think it was like a milk and cookies cozy event that they had in the Commons. And I was like, do you want to go with me? They said, sure. And we went, and we enjoyed cookies and milk, and we had like an awesome time. It's really just understanding that everyone is in a similar position as you. So it's okay to go talk to random people and to just really put yourself out there with the people in your community, because y'all are all together as a community. So you just have to go out there and seek it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such a testament to how amazing it is just seeing you light up when you talk about it and these connections you've made. I'd love to circle back and touch on something you mentioned about how sometimes you don't click with people right away, and that's okay. So what would your advice be for someone who's maybe not clicking with their roommate right away?
I would say it's okay. It's not anything bad. It's not a sign that y'all are never going to get along. It just takes time sometimes to build a good relationship. And also try to keep in mind it's the beginning of the year, and so everybody's busy, everybody's thinking about their own things. But just always making yourself available is a good step, and just at least being the one to reach out and say, hey, I'm going to do this. Do you want to come with me? So at least you know that you're putting in that first step towards working on that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that's so special about our campus that obviously we keep touching on, but I mean, A&M is truly such a welcoming place, and the experience here isn't like anywhere else. And so at the end of the day, there's going to be someone in your dorm. The dorms are huge. There's so many people who live on campus. Like, you will find your people.
Absolutely.
Just remember that your roommates are likely going to be nervous students as well. It's y'all's first time in college, and it's going to be a little hectic those first couple of weeks. We got first days of classes. You've got Howdy Week and all this other stuff going on. So they might just be as nervous as you are. So if it takes a little bit of time, don't worry. Don't stress too much. You've got a whole year ahead of you. So there is plenty of time to make that connection.
Yeah.
And I would like to add on, I have dealt with situations with roommate disagreements and stuff in the past. It's very rare. I don't see a lot of it in the dorms, but when I do, you just want to make sure that whenever you move into a new space, especially with someone new, a lot of times you're in a lottery with getting a new roommate. You want to make sure you set clear boundaries with your space, their space, and you're able to communicate. Communication is so key. Whether you feel, oh, I'm going to be out till 12 in the library tonight, so I just need you to maybe keep the door unlocked until I come back. Or, hey, I got locked out. Is there a way that you can let me in? Or should I go get a key from the 24-hour desk? Communication and making boundaries is so key, and it's not something that's going to tear away your relationships. It actually helps build them. So just making sure that you're able to understand yourself, especially in that roommate agreement that we all sign. Make sure you go back off of that, be truthful, communicate, talk, and then, of course, have fun. Because it is your college experience. You will be living there. You just want to make sure you feel happy, safe, and amazing.
Yeah, what great advice for Aggies. So, and if they do have any issues, that's what you guys are there to help with as well, besides bonding, but you guys are there to support them and be a lending hand and friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For sure. There is someone available 24 hours if you need somebody.
Really, that's great. Do you have any fun or crazy stories or memories that happened in the dorm?
I do have some crazy stories. I think this should be a PSA for any students who choose to do a communal bathroom. It is communal bathroom, meaning you must wear clothes going to and from the bathroom. That's the most important.
Oh no.
You must wear clothes going to and from the bathroom. No one's naked. I want to mention that no one is naked, but sometimes just a towel doesn't cut it. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure you wear appropriate attire when you're going to and from the bathroom.
I know my RAs had to get on some people because they were trying to figure out who was taking the VO bikes. And they were putting them in trees. They were putting them on top, above the doors. There's this little overhang. They would put them up there.
How do they do that?
Yeah, exactly. They were putting them everywhere. And they were like, hey, guys, people need to use those. So if you can stop putting them in places where people can't reach, that would be great.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. We didn't have nearly as many crazy stories in my dorm. We had the sock bandit who would take socks from the washing machine, but it was only silly socks. If people had horse socks or something funny like that, they'd take those.
I was going to say we kind of had an opposite of that sock bandit story. We had someone called the breadster during my first year as an RA. They would take these loaves of bread and they would put slices of bread on people's doorknobs.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't figure out who it was, but they would just put these pieces of bread on people's door handles. And we were telling people, hey, maybe don't put foodstuffs on people's door handles.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if they're watching.
They might be. I don't know.
Wow. That would be crazy.
That is so funny. We just had a origami bandit, I want to say. They made these miniature origami pieces and put them on everyone's door, which I thought was super cute. I still have mine. Cute. But they put them on everyone's door. We don't know who made them to this day. I kept asking all the residents that came by, I asked all the RAs. I was like, do you know who made these? And they're like, no. It just popped up. But
mystery origami, Aggie.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing a little bit about your experience on campus through residence life. I think it's really informative for so many incoming and current students. So thanks and giga.